This just in to TT News. A source close to the elephant community confirms that pachyderms do not like eating peanuts. The source saying, quote, "They do not like that junk inside their trunk." Joining us to talk about this startling news, elephant rights activist Tad Gray and the CEO of Big Top Peanut Butter, Carl Crunch. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Of course. Tad, what do you make of this news?
Well, I think it's great that elephants are finally owning their truth.
With all due respect, Brad, this
It's
is
Tad.
ridiculous. Fake news quite literally planted by the cashew industry to sink peanut profits. These millennial elephants with their kale.
That is
and
a stereotype,
I refuse
Carl.
to take kale to the circus,
Can we
Tad.
focus
We
on-
celebrate food diversity, Carl. If you could look past your peanut What's privilege and next?
Explore
Rabbits don't like
the diversity of
carrots.
foods that
Guinea
pachyderms
pigs don't like those
consume
little
across the
veggie
world.
nuggets.
You might just understand
Horses don't like
what we're
hay. I
getting
don't know
at
who
here.
eats what anymore, Brad.
It's true, by the way. Elephants don't really like peanuts, and peanuts don't have enough nutrients or calories to support an animal that size. But for years, trainers have coaxed elephants into eating peanuts out of the hands of circus goers because it made for a good show. And unfortunately, when it comes to the media we consume, most of us are also being fed a media diet that can't give us everything we need, even if it, too, makes for a good show. So here's how we can break out of that media circus and balance our media diet. One thing we can all do is to intentionally feed ourselves by diversifying our news feed. Even when we download news apps or sign up for news alerts or even follow news stories on Snapchat and Instagram, we're letting someone else decide our media menu. This means missing out on a lot of important and interesting and inspiring stories. Yeah, dude, I mean, sometimes you've just gotta, make your own kale chips. It's actually really easy. I can give you the recipe if you want. No, I'm good. Thanks anyway. So, anyway, going beyond news alerts and seeking out a variety of news sources can help burst our filter bubbles and expose us to different perspectives. Go ahead, scroll down the page, search, and discover. Otherwise, you might not know, for example, about the guy who has spent thousands of hours underwater to photograph and fight for ocean life. Or how the movie Hidden Figures led to a program that will benefit girls and women across the world. Stories like these may not be trending, but they matter. They give us hope and ideas of our own that might inspire us to take action in our own lives. So instead of waiting for news to come to you, feed yourself. Another thing we can do to balance our media diet? Fact-check stories with real-world context clues. Most of us are pretty tech-savvy, but sometimes the way we share news can leave us vulnerable to fake or biased stories. So how can we check ourselves before we wreck ourselves? Gosh, please don't ever say that again, okay? What I was going to say was, when you're consuming news, remember to look outside the frame. If a friend, for example, sends you a screenshot of a news story, pause before you react or share it. Seek out the rest of the story and make sure that snippet is a fair representation. Even live videos and photos are framed. What's happening behind the camera? What happened before and after someone hit record? Look for other angles of that story. We've all had our friends post pictures of us where we look like half-awake monster versions of ourselves. What if that's how the rest of the world saw us, without also looking at our incredibly filtered, perfectly angled selfies? Yikes. Don't fall for the same trick. Finally, balance your social media diet too. Look, most of us don't get our news delivered to our porch by a kid on a bicycle anymore. No offense, Grandma.
None taken, sweetie.
A lot of us get our news or our reactions to the world through friends or people we trust on social media. But it's easy to get trapped in that bubble, so if you find yourself scrolling through social media for hours a day, make sure you follow a diverse range of accounts. People like you, people not like you. And protect your mental health. Feeling self-conscious? Follow accounts that affirm your identity or promote body positivity. Feeling depressed about the news cycle? Follow accounts that offer funny videos. Watch GIFs of goats doing yoga. Send silly snaps to each other. It's okay to have some junk food in our media diets. It keeps us sane, and it keeps us smiling. The key is not isolating ourselves and doing our best to see the world as it actually is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the next time the media circus tries to feed you peanuts, remember, you have the tools to feed yourself,
Are you sure you're eating enough?
even if not everybody else
I
thinks so.
may have some peanuts back here.